Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. Thank you so much for joining me. We're doing our third series preview here. We did the Pittsburgh-Montreal series a couple of days ago, about 5-6 days ago, and recently we just did the Toronto-Columbus series. Now we're going to take a deep dive into the Islanders versus Panthers series. Now, I've said this a couple of times on the channel over the years, but the previous Islanders versus Panthers series that I watched 3 years ago, I think it was one of the best series I've ever seen in any NHL playoffs. And I think a lot of people can't relate to that because it's a series that wasn't really watched, because at the time, you know, the Islanders were okay and the Panthers were, huh? So not a lot of people paid attention to that series, and I think it's one of the most underrated series in the past decade. So when I look at this series with the same two teams, a lot has changed on both sides. So I don't know if it's going to have the same intensity, although it should, because both teams are much better than they were before. So let's take a deep dive into this. We'll break it down by category. I've got 15 different categories. I'll pick a winner for each category. We'll tally the score at the end, and then I'll give you my thoughts on who I'm predicting and who I want to win. All right. So here are the 15 categories. We've got season, power play, penalty kill, offense, defense, middle, wingers, defensemen, goaltending, pressure, experience, leadership, coaching, chemistry, and history. Now, if you've watched those two previous series previews, you'll recognize all these categories. So I apologize for going through this little spiel again, but it is required for the new people. And if you are new, I would love it if you could hit the subscribe button down below. Join me for all kinds of hockey talk, all kinds of playoff talk, and some potential live streams coming up of game reactions. So anyways, so season. Which team had the best regular season this year? And you could argue that really that doesn't matter, and I would agree with that argument, but it's worth mentioning anyway. And the Islanders are that team. They had the better regular season. Power play, that goes to the Panthers. Penalty kill, that goes to the Islanders. The best offensive team, I believe, although the Islanders have a lot of offensive talent, I think the structure of the Panthers is really built around the front end. So I gave that to them. I think the Panthers do have the better offensive talent. Defensively, I think it's no question that the Islanders are the better defensive team, just based on coaching alone. Up the middle, the Islanders, I gave them the win there. They have a very solid core up the middle, and the wingers as well. This one's a little bit closer. It's even probably arguable. Maybe this should have been a split, but I gave it to the Islanders. I think they have a really strong wingers. Defensemen, I gave this one a split. I couldn't decide. If you sat me down and I had an Islanders fan and a Panthers fan in front of me, and they were both trying to argue or sway my opinion, it wouldn't be hard to go either way. I think it's so close. I had a really tough time deciding here, so I just gave it a split. Goaltending, and I said this in the last video with the Toronto-Columbus series, but some series just come down to strictly goaltending, and I think this is one of them. I think this, out of any series that's going to take place in this entire playoffs, what happens between the pipes is going to matter most in this series versus any other. Bobrovsky can either take you to the glory land, or he can drop you. I don't know what Bobrovsky we're going to get this year in the playoffs. He had a tough season. He did. So it's just based on that, it's extremely hard to predict this series. Anyways, going back to the winner, I gave it to the Islanders just because I think their tandem is much better than Florida's. I think Bobrovsky has the better raw individual talent, but I think in a tandem perspective, there's no question that the Islanders win there. Pressure, I gave that to the Panthers. I don't think they really have a lot of pressure on their shoulders. I believe that the fans know that the team is going through a bit of a rebuild right now. They're happy with the progression. But the Islanders, they had a little bit of success last year and then some disappointment. So I think there is definitely some pressure on the Islanders' shoulders here to kind of succeed a little bit more than last year. So I think I gave this to the Panthers. There's less pressure on their shoulders. Experience, Islanders. Yes, definitely. I think overall, even individually, I think there's more experience on the Islanders. Leadership, I also gave this to the Islanders. I think there's just a core that's been together longer with some more experienced players. So Islanders for leadership. Coaching, obviously I gave this to the Islanders. I don't even know if that's arguable. Chemistry, I also gave this to the Islanders. But this was close. I think there is a lot of chemistry in Florida, but there's been maybe a little bit more names go in and out the door in Florida versus the Islanders. So This one was close, but I did give it to the Islanders. In history, the Islanders do have the upper hand against the Florida Panthers in their head-to-head history. So that leaves us with the Islanders at 11, the Panthers at 3, and I put one split in there. So clearly, based on that ridiculous formula that doesn't mean anything, it really doesn't. It's stupid, it's silly, it means nothing. Because this is a different year, this isn't a typical year, it's hard to predict, anything could happen, so that formula means nothing. However, I have a prediction, and I have a want. So my prediction is going to go with the Islanders. I have a gut feeling that the Islanders will win, not just based on the 11-3 formula, but just in general. But I don't think they're going to do it easily. I'm not seeing like a sweep here. I actually think it's going to go the distance, and we might see a 5-game series. So I'm going to predict the Islanders in 5, and I'm also going to want the Islanders to win. So I don't know if I want any team to sweep, because I want to watch, selfishly, I want to watch as much hockey as possible. So my want and my prediction is actually the same. I'd love to see a 5-game series between these two teams. So prediction, Islanders in 5, want Islanders in 5. Kind of an easy one for me. But anyways, leave your thoughts down below in the comment section. Let me know how you feel about this series. Am I wrong? Am I right? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Leave your predictions. I would love to read through the comment section. And if you're not subscribed, please hit the subscribe button down below and click that little notification icon so you can be notified every time that I upload. Because there's going to be more, 5 more series previews coming, and then a live stream hopefully on Saturdays. So I hope you guys have an awesome day. And I'll catch you in the next video coming up real soon. Adios.